that this step, even though it's only 12 inches, is a powerful training tool. Number two, we're going to show you a couple different exercises that you can use with the step as your friend and assistant to help you learn about some lower body training. Number three, the height of the step is appropriate for most people because they don't know how to hinge while they're doing a step up. Instead, they move from their knee. So let's start right there, shall we? So basically most people, when they do step-ups, they do them like this, right? And they get this knee action, they lean forward, and then they step up, and then they step down. So to identify this flaw in the step up, we have to train it, and we have to train it correctly. So what we're going to do to reinforce this pattern is to show you the difference between that and then what we want. So this is the forward step up, and what we want to reinforce for people when they go hiking, when they go on walks, when they go downstairs, when they go upstairs, is the position of the ankle relative to the knee and the hip. So if the knee is so far forward that it's actually stressing that angle, and we don't have any glute being used, we have a problem. So as a gentle reminder, the concept here is simple. We're trying to push down through this step as much as possible with this hip. That might not make sense, but the idea between pushing down here and pushing down from here is that our reminder is this is the wheel, right? We're trying to use the glute and the hip to drive that motion, right? Back down. See how it's a little bit more of a, instead of a vertical push, right? We get this different angle. So the power here in the step up comes from learning and mastering that movement. Now, let's break down the step up and learn how to use this box a couple different ways for that. So if we do a forward step up, again, a gentle reminder, this leg is hanging out. There are a lot of people who do a step up as heavy as possible. I would rather see them learn how to use this leg to dominate the motion and this leg to hang out, meaning the trail leg. So when you do this, that love tap, right, coming back down and then back up, tap, come back up. Again, all the pressure is on the up leg. What we're doing is technically isolating / integrating. When we do a reverse lunge, right, we want the same form, roughly. We're going to have some pressure on that back foot, but that main driver is that front foot. So again, the concept here on a forward step up is that we are pushing this way. I'm going to remind you why that's so important. We're going to push this way on purpose so that people get that sensation of I'm using my hip to move me forward. Okay? So that's that plane of motion is also a little different than the next one. Speaking of the next one, I'm going to do a lateral step up. I'm going to show you from the front, then show you from the side. Okay? Ideally what happens when I do a lateral step up, I'm staying within the confines of the box. I'm going to show you the box here and how I'm moving my hip back in a second. But also I'm pushing down again, but here's my angle again. So I'm pushing down / pushing on this weird angle and getting into my head. Okay? If you watch the bottom of a lateral lunge, it should look a little similar. Okay? My knee was a little too far out there. But from here, okay, pushing my hip behind my knee is technically right in front of my toe box, push to stand, back up. How functional is that? Right? You can bring the knee up, you can also put your foot down. Now I'm going to show you from the side so you can really see the difference, right, in a lateral step up versus a forward. So in the forward step up, what I showed you before is that you're moving still on this angle, but look at the joint action. Right? Now, when I do the lateral step up, now where am I going? I'm going this way. Technically, when I'm facing this way. So I'm getting that alignment, okay? Ankle, knee, hip. My hip pushes to, when the glute is recruited, to push down, right, into the box. And then I'm pushing down, getting triple extension, ankle, knee, hip, right? But I'm moving lateral. Okay? So the difference, again, straight from the side / front, right? Here's a lateral step up, right? You see the ankle. Here's a forward step up. Not the same. So might feel like it's drawing straws, but a lot of people don't know how to move laterally. So that's the game there, is teaching that. Now, the third one, nobody touches this. This one actually I think is more potent because you have to isolate the top leg. And this is called a step down. Okay, effectively some people will call this a single leg squat. You're just going to have this leg dead. This heel is going to touch. You're going to push your hips back, touch, and back up. Some people hold plates here. or dumbbells, right in front, like a light dumbbell, as a counterbalance. I'll show you from the side, I'll show you from this side. So from here, again, kind of this leg is almost in front. I'm going to push back. Some people think, oh, this is a pistol. It's a little different. The pistol, you have a barometer for depth for your hip. This one, the barometer of depth, right? And it's a lateral motion. The barometer of depth is from your heel, okay? And a lot of people will say they struggle with these because they don't know how to sit back behind the knee. So again, the concept here, sitting back and turning what most people would consider a quad dominant / knee dominant movement pattern into a hip dominant movement pattern, okay? This is what most people do their step-ups with. Getting into a more athletic position, we can get a little bit more out of it. Now, that's step-ups, okay? There's another one too if you want it, the crossover step-up. I like the crossover because if we go back to curtsy lunges, it kind of looks, / crossover lunges, it looks pretty similar, right? And then again, we get this athletic pattern of moving and pushing off, okay, and learning alignment, ankle, knee, hip, and pushing, even though this hip is way far behind this ankle. So I have a mechanical disadvantage, pushing up, love tap, back up, okay? And again, you can bring your knee up, your foot up. I like to just put my foot down just for a second. So again, this step is very innocent, but a lot of people, if you ask them to do it correctly, with very little weight on the back foot, with the focus on form and tempo, they're probably going to get more out of it than just trying to bang away. A lot of people just go like this. Right, you're not even going to feel it. Take your time. There's your step up. Okay? And we didn't even talk about plyos. Plyos are awesome with this stuff. Now, this is also a great squat tool. We talked about step-ups, but let's talk about squatting. Okay? This might seem like, wow, that's really, really low. But technically, my hip and my knee are parallel with each other at the bottom. Let's look at that from the side. So from here, might be just a little bit below. Okay? So maybe what you do is you add an RX pad to the top, so you get a little bit more depth correction, right? But for a lot of people, and this is also, there's different limb lengths, right? So somebody can have a longer femur. They can sit down, and then all of a sudden, it's not so bad. Some people can have a longer tibia, longer lower leg, and fibula. So, but the idea here is to learn how to push and drive those knees out to establish that depth, and then come back up. I love this as a training tool. It's not always the one I use. This is a 12-inch box. So use your box that you have, but it's a great barometer for depth. The final exercise, most people do this, but they do it on a bench. I'm going to show you how to do it on the bench and then the wall. So the first one though, we're going to do that, I'm going to do it on a diagonal. I'm going to have the back foot up, okay, just hanging out. I'm going to reach forward, touch. There's my bulk area. Also known as rear foot elevated split squat. So, great exercise. Actually, let me show you the rear foot elevated. Put it on the wall. So, take a step out. Put that foot back. Reach down. Back up. Okay? You got that nice little rotation, chest over knee, over ankle. Really creates a lot of good opportunities for ankle, knee, hip. Triple extension. Ankle, knee, hip. The closer we can get to training them at the same time, meaning all three. Sometimes I call it zip. So zip all the way up at the same time, we will. That's it. Hope that was helpful. Take your step up seriously. They're an awesome exercise.